Hi, and welcome to Ivy English. I'm Angela.
And I'm Wesley.
Today is the 20th of February. We're on page 55 in the magazine, and today's article is entitled, Excuse me, there's whiskey in my coffee.
我们的中文标题是爱尔兰咖啡温暖你我的心啊。那英文呢就是不好意思啊 ，excuse me， 在这里大家可以翻成不好意思，我的咖啡里面有 whisky。Yeah.
I wouldn't object. That stuff is good. On the other hand, if you're driving, don't drink whiskey in your coffee.
千万不要这个酒醉驾或者喝酒开车，即使包括你的咖啡里面加点酒都不要。
So here's our article. All around the world, you can find people adding liquor to coffee. However, few versions are as well known as the Irish coffee. This boozy beverage is a perfect winter drink, whether you are sitting by a fire or trying to warm up after being out in the rain. But exactly how did this drink come to be so popular? According to legend, Irish coffee originated in the 1940s on the west coast of Ireland in the small village of Foynes. In 1943, a Pan Am seaplane bound for New York City took off, a trip that at that time took more than 24 hours. However, the crew was forced to return to Ireland when it encountered a storm over the Atlantic Ocean. Cold and wet, the passengers departed the plane and requested something to eat and drink. Joe Sheridan, the restaurant chef at the Foynes Flying Boat Terminal, added a dash of whiskey to the cups of coffee he served. When asked if he had used Brazilian coffee beans, Sheridan replied that it was Irish coffee. Sheridan then adjusted and tweaked the recipe until he settled on a mixture of coffee, whiskey, and sugar, topped with a floating layer of thick cream. To make the drink visually appealing, he served it in a stemmed glass so the division between coffee and cream could be seen. Later, this concoction was served to all passengers that flew through Foynes, including politicians, movie stars, and entertainers. Today, visitors at the Foynes Flying Boat Museum can see photos of stars such as Marilyn Monroe enjoying one of Sheridan's Irish coffees before the next leg of their journey. They can also enjoy a glass of the boozy coffee prepared as it was more than 70 years ago. That's cool. I never actually knew the origins of Irish coffee. It really did come from Ireland. You can't always trust the names of things.
Yeah.
But this one was true.
Yeah, 所以爱尔兰咖啡真的是来自爱尔兰哈。很多时候这个食物啊或者什么料理的名字前面冠了一个名词，其实不见得那个是来自于这个地方啊，或者说它冠了一个地名，那这个东西其实不见得来自那个地方。但是爱尔兰咖啡真的是来自爱尔兰。
Okay, so all around the world, everywhere, it's true. In every country that has coffee, you can find people adding liquor to coffee. There's something that just works about that.
在世界各地呢，你都可以发现人们加 liquor 其实是烈酒啊，或者是它是蒸馏酒，加到咖啡里面去。那 find 在这里呢，它这种不完全及物动词，它需要受词。那后面呢还会再加一些补语，所以 find people 的 people 是 find 的受词，那后面可以再加一个这个 VING 来当补语，表示发现某人在做某事。那这种结构我们在杂志上面也有很详细的说明。那因为我们这个录音的时间有限，我们就不会讲那么详细的文法说明。但如果你要想多了解的话，你要有一份这个杂志，看看它里面的这个很漂亮、很详细的说明。好，所以我们在全世界都可以看到人们把烈酒加到咖啡里面。
However, few versions are as well known as the Irish coffee, especially in Taiwan. The most common coffee plus liquor combo that you'll see in a restaurant is Irish coffee.
好，但是呢 few 就是很少有 versions 就是版本啊，就是这种不同的版本的这种加了酒精的咖啡。那但是呢，有很少有这种加了酒精的咖啡或者加了酒的咖啡呢，和 Irish coffee 一样的有名啊，很少有那种 are as well known as the Irish coffee.
This boozy beverage is the perfect winter drink. Booze is shorthand for liquor, so if a beverage is boozy, there's been some liquor added to it. So, This boozy beverage is a perfect winter drink. It's really good when you're cold, whether you are sitting by a fire or trying to warm up after being out in the rain.
OK， 那这个 boozy 在这里就是指加了酒的，带着酒精的。boozy 这个字呢，其实它可以指 slightly drunk， 那就是这个微醉那种感觉，所以这个 boozy laughter 就是带着微醉的、带着醉意的笑啊。但在这里呢，这个 boozy 是表示它是带了酒精的。那 beverage 这个字呢，这个很有趣 ，beverage 通常就是所有喝的东西都可以叫做 beverage， 可是也有一种说法就是这个 beverage 它不包含水。所以 a drink other than water， 但是这是一种说法，但是其实也有人说 beverage 就是那个任何喝的东西，尤其是指什么 soda、drink、coffee， 这些都是叫做 beverage。所以呢，这个带了酒精的这种 beverage， 它是个 perfect， 是个很完美的 winter drink， 就是冬季的饮品。好，那 whether 不管你是 sitting by a fire， 是坐在火炉边，还是 trying to warm up， 想要把暖身子。After being out in the rain， 你刚刚在外面，冬天在外面淋了雨进来想要暖身子，或者是你坐在火炉边，你都觉得哇，这是很棒的，爱尔兰咖啡是种很棒的 winter drink。
But exactly how did this drink come to be so popular? You can say exactly how, or you can say how exactly. The meaning is the same. Like, really? How did this happen?
好，所以呢，这个 exactly how 也可以，那你说 how exactly 也可以，好，所以到底是怎么样啊？这个 drink 它会 come to 就是到达现在这个状况 ，to reach a certain state， 它到底是怎么样变成 so popular？ 它为什么会变得这么受欢迎呢？
According to legend, according to how people tell it, Irish coffee originated or began.Started off in the 1940s on the west coast of Ireland in the small village of Foynes.
OK， 那 according to legend， 各位把它背起来啊！你不要讲说 according to a legend， 也不要说 according to the legend， 都不对，你直接说 according to legend。好 ，legend 在这里好像这个概念一样啊，根据传说。那爱尔兰咖啡呢 ，originated 就是发源于什么时候呢？在1940年代 ，on the west coast of Ireland。在爱尔兰的西岸，然后呢是在一个小小的村落叫做 Foynes 这个地方。
So apparently in 1943, a Pan Am seaplane, Pan Am was a major airline at the time, and it was bound for New York City. Its destination was New York City. So this plane took off. And at that time, this trip took more than 24 hours. Can you imagine 24 hours in a little tiny plane that's not nearly as stable as our current jet planes. Not nearly as comfortable either.
所以呢，在1943年呢，有一架泛美航空这个 Pan Am 这个之前是个很大的航空公司，它有一个 seaplane 就是水上飞机 ，bound for 就 which was bound for， 它目的地是纽约市。那它怎么样呢 ？Took off， 它起飞了，然后呢，告诉你 a trip， 它这一段飞行。That at that time， 在当时这段飞行会 took more than， 它会花费超过24个小时，所以各位可以想象嘛，当年的飞机这个稳定性舒适度都不如今天的飞机。那在这样的情况之下，还得坐24个小时的飞机，那坐到后来大概骨头都散了。即使是现代的飞机，大家要坐24小时除非你坐头等舱或者这个商务舱，不然坐经济舱坐24个小时，那个也会非常难过的。
So what happened, though? However, the crew was forced to return to Ireland. So they took off, they were flying for a while, and then they had to turn around when they encountered a storm over the Atlantic Ocean. Oh, that must have really been annoying.
Yeah. 所以呢 the crew 就是这个机组人员呢 was forced to return， 他们被迫要回头。那各位注意到他这里动词用的是 was， 表示他把这个机组人员看成一个整体一个单数，所以他们这个被迫要回到爱尔兰。When it 就是指这架飞机或者是你可以说 the crew 他们 encountered 他们意外的遭遇到了 a storm 一个暴风雨 over the Atlantic Ocean， 就是在大西洋的上空碰到了暴风 暴风雨，所以他们没办法，只好折返。
I mean, just think it's a prop plane. It's a small propeller plane with maybe, 10 passengers. Tiny.
Yeah. 那各位可以想想，它这个它是螺旋桨飞机啊，那而且这个飞机也不会太大，那小小的一个飞机在暴风雨里面很危险的。
So cold and wet. The passengers are cold and wet from this airplane ride, and they departed the plane. They got off the plane, and they requested something to eat and drink, as you do in that situation.
Yeah. 他们这个又冷又湿啊，因为大概这个飞机可能在这个防水也不是很好，所以搞得他们也是浑身湿透透啊。然后呢，这些 passengers 乘客 departed the plane. Depart 这个是通常是用当不及物动词来用，但是它可以当及物动词，在这里它就是及物动词，所以 departed the plane 就是 left the plane 或者 went away from the plane. 他们离开了飞机，然后呢 requested 要求 something to eat and drink 啊，要求或者是他们希望能够有东西能够吃能够喝。
So Joe Sheridan, the restaurant chef, the guy in charge of making food at the Foynes Flying Boat Terminal, a terminal being where planes and boats come to or take off from. It's like the end point of any journey, basically. By bus, by train, by plane, you all end in a terminal. And terminal is Latin for the end, so that's what's funny about it. So so at the terminal, the guy running the restaurant at the terminal, he was like, oh, these poor people. And he just added a dash of whiskey to the cups of coffee he served. How much is a dash of whiskey? It depends on the person serving it. It's anywhere from a teaspoon to several teaspoons or a jigger of whiskey. So it could be an entire shot of whiskey, depending on how generous the person dashing the whiskey into the drinks is.
好 dash 其实就是 a small amount 的意思。那至于什么是 a small amount， 那要看人哈。有人觉得他可能会这个小的那个whisky 杯，他可能就倒一杯就叫做 a dash， 但有人可能会倒好几杯啊，所以要看人。好，所以我们看到这个地方他讲的这个 Joe Sheridan， 他是谁呢？童卫格告诉你 ，the restaurant chef 是餐厅的主厨。那哪里的餐厅呢？在这个Foyne 这个飞船的 terminal， 也就是航站啊 ，terminal 就是航站。那如果是这个 bus 的话 ，bus terminal 就是车子的终点站或总站的意思啊。那在这个航站的餐厅里面，这个主厨呢，他添加了 a dash of whiskey， 一点点的 whisky。那加到哪里呢 ？The cups of coffee he served， 他把端咖啡给大家喝。那他在端出来咖啡里面，他都加了一点点的 whisky。So,
of course, people noticed the taste difference and they were like, this is different. Did you use Brazilian coffee beans? Just trying to find some reason for the difference. Because at that time, Brazilian coffee beans were pretty fashionable. So he was like, yeah, nope, it's Irish coffee, not Brazilian coffee.
好，那when asked if， 那各位注意这种句型啊，就是当被问到的时候，它是被动，所以是 asked。好，所以 when asked if， 当他被问到他是否是使用巴西咖啡啊，巴西咖啡豆，因为当时巴西的咖啡豆非常的流行啊，那而且味道不太一样，所以大家说，这个咖啡味道不太一样哦，你是不是用巴西咖啡豆呢？他被问到的时候呢 ，Sheridan replied that， 他就回答说，这个是 Irish coffee， 这个是爱尔兰咖啡。
So then, after this incident, Sheridan adjusted and tweaked the recipe. Tweaked is just another way to say adjusted, but to tweak something is to just adjust it in tiny ways to perfect it. So you're tweaking a recipe until you get it right. And anyone who's a cook will have already experienced this process. You're like, what if I added just a titch more sugar? I bet that would make it better. That's tweaking. So he tweaked the recipe until he settled on a mixture of coffee, whiskey, and sugar. So these three ingredients were in there, but not in equal parts, okay? Probably it's mostly coffee, 1 part whiskey, and then a bit of sugar, or maybe not, maybe more sugar. And then he topped it. He put something on top. He topped it with a floating layer of thick cream. Yes. Sorry, I want one now.
OK， 所以呢，这个地方呢，他说 Sheridan， 他接着就 adjusted 就调整，然后呢 tweaked 是微调 to improve by making fine adjustments ，fine 在这也是细微的意思，所以就细微的微调，所以它的这个调整微调这个 recipe 一直要到它怎么样 settled on。settle on 就是最后选择了什么东西settle on 就 to choose something after thinking about the other possible choices， 各种可能想到最后他或者试过之后他决定好我就用这一个了，最后决定了，最后选择了，他选择了一个 a mixture of， 他选择了一个这个调和物 mixture 混合物调和什么东西呢 coffee 咖啡 whisky 威士忌酒还有 sugar 还有糖，把它混在一起。那 topped with 就上面覆盖的什么呢 a floating layer of floating 就漂浮的 layer 这层一层漂浮的什么呢 thick cream 厚厚的奶泡cream 就是在这里就是指那个奶泡它本来也可以指奶油。
Now, to make the drink visually appealing, although honestly, a mug that's topped with cream is already visually appealing enough for me, but to make it even more appealing, he served it in a stemmed glass. So a stemmed glass cannot be made of ceramic, or it could, but they rarely are. So it means it's a glass. And the way it kind of got sort of too is that the glass also has a handle on it because it's hot and you don't want to just touch the glass directly. So it's a handled glass that also has a stem. A stem is just like the one little leg underneath. It's like a little stand that's attached to the glass. So the stemmed glass was clear. So the division between coffee and cream, the separation of the black and the white could be seen, and it looked really cool.
好，然后呢，接下来to 就是 in order to 为了要 make the drink 让这个饮料呢 visually 就是视觉上面 appealing 就是 attractive 在视觉上很吸引人，他怎么样呢 served it 他这个咖啡他这个端上来给你喝的时候呢是把它放在一个 a stemmed glass stem 就是那高脚杯的那个角就是那个 stem， 所以 a stemmed glass 就是所谓的高脚的玻璃杯，把它放在高脚玻璃杯里面。好，那目的是 so 就是 so that 目的是要让 the division 分隔，什么东西的分隔呢 the division between coffee and cream 咖啡跟这个奶泡之间的那个分隔呢 could be seen 可以被你看得清楚。
Later, this concoction was served to all passengers that flew through Foynes. What is a concoction? A concoction is something that is concocted. If you concoct something, you make something up. You create something new, but especially a drink. So bartenders will concoct drinks. They will make up new kinds of drinks. And the noun of this is concoction. So this concoction was given to everybody. You could just get one if you flew through Foynes. And this includes politicians, movie stars, and entertainers. Because you have to remember, air travel was an expensive and rare thing in much of the world until the 60s or 70s. So the only people flying are going to be politicians, movie stars, and entertainers.
Yeah, 没错哈。那所以呢，这个当时搭飞机的人都是这些名流因为那时候飞机还不普遍嘛，所以大概就是这些政治人物电影明星还有艺人有这个钱可以去搭飞机。那我们来看到这个句子，他说 later 后来呢 this concoction 就是一个调和的饮品，调和的喝的东西。那 comes together 嘛，那这个 cooked 它的字根呢，它可以表示 cook 的意思，所以好像本来的意思就通通煮在一起后来 concoction 就慢慢衍生到现在的意思，就是把它调和起来。所以这个调和的饮品呢 was served to 被供应给谁呢 all passengers 所有的这些旅客 that flew through 这个你飞机有经过，当然要在这里有落地了经过这个 Foynes 这个地方的这些所有的旅客，那包括哪些人呢？包括政治家我们刚刚讲的 politicians, movie stars 电影明星，还有 entertainers。
Today, visitors at the Foynes Flying Boat Museum, so of course, flying boats per se don't really exist anymore. We don't need them, but we can go to the museum at what used to be the terminal, and we can see photos of stars such as Marilyn Monroe enjoying one of Sheridan's Irish coffees before the next leg of their journey. What's a leg of your journey? It means one section.
Yep.
So imagine if you're flying from Taipei to New York, you might fly from Taipei to Japan, and then Japan to Alaska, and then Alaska to New York. And each piece is one leg of your journey. There's 3 legs.
好，所以这个 leg 在这里不是脚哈 ，leg 在这里就是 a section of a journey 啊，或者是 a section of a process 或者一个 race。那在飞行上面来讲呢，例如说你从台北飞到纽约，你可能会先飞到东京，那这样这一段旅程就是一个 leg。然后呢，你再从东京，也许你飞到阿拉斯加去看雪啊，那是第二个 leg。那第三个 leg 就是从阿拉斯加飞到纽约，这叫 leg。好，所以我们看到这个句子，他说呢，这个今天呢 ，visitors， 你这些游客去这个博物馆啊 ，the Foynes Flying Boat Museum， 在这个博物馆里面的游客呢，可以看到 photos 一些照片 of stars 一些明星的照片啊，这些明星是谁呢 ？Such as 举例给你听，例如说玛丽莲梦露啊，那看着这些明星怎么样 ？Enjoying， 看他们正在享用这个 Sheridan's 他的 Irish Coffees 的这个在喝一杯这个爱尔兰咖啡。那 before 他们在等飞机，等他们进行下一段旅程的时候。他们在那边喝咖啡，喝这个爱尔兰咖啡。
But much more important, if you go to this museum, you can also enjoy a glass of the same boozy coffee prepared as it was more than 70 years ago.
好，所以呢 they 就是指 visitors 啊，这些访客呢也可以 enjoy 享用 a glass of 一杯 the boozy coffee 这个带着酒的咖啡啊 prepared as it was 就是 prepared as it was prepared 的意思啊，那重复的 prepared 把它拿掉了，所以就以当年 more than 70 years ago 啊，这个70几年前他们怎么样泡的，怎么样制作的，你现在也可以要求我要喝一样的，跟当年那个 recipe 一样的一杯咖啡啊，你就可以体会到70年间人们第一次听到这个 Irish coffee 的时候那种感觉。
Now, we have some questions for you about the article, and the first one is, what can you learn about Irish coffee from the passage, from the article?
你可以从本文了解关于爱尔兰咖啡的什么事情呢？
The answer is B. It is a drink that many people are familiar with.
好，那答案是 B， 它是一种许多人都熟悉的饮品。
And number 2, this is a tricky one. What does the word it in the second paragraph refer to?
第二段的单字 it 指的是什么呢？
The answer is B, the seaplane.
答案是 B， 水上飞机。
And number 3, who did Sheridan first serve his Irish coffee to?
那这个 Sheridan 最先供应他的爱尔兰咖啡给谁呢？
The answer is C, people taking a flight to the U.S. who had to come back in a storm.
答案是 C 啊，是一些本来要飞往美国的人啊。那这一题有一点 tricky 哈，因为它这个 B 这个选项，他说 passengers coming off a cruise ship 啊，你会觉得coming off 啊，对，正确答案不对，因为它后面讲 cruise ship 啊，是这个游艇啊，所以不是，因为它这个虽然是飞船，可是它不是游艇。
And number 4, what was done to make Sheridan's drink seem more special and unique, to make it even cooler?
好，为了要使这个 Sheridan 它的这个饮品啊更独特，他做了什么事情呢？
The answer is D. The drink was served in a clear glass for a striking look.
答案是 D， 这个饮品呢被放在一个很透明的、很清亮的一个玻璃杯里面来呈现。让它看起来更惊艳。
So that's all we have for you on alcoholic drinks today, but just remember that if you drink, don't drive, and if you drive, don't drink. It's simple. And join us again the next time for more Ivy English. Until then, bye-bye.